What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Against All Odds podcast, season 2, episode 3. In this episode, Mimi again is wearing a sweatshirt, and I'm going to say there's a 99% chance that she's going to be sweating and hot by the end of this podcast.
And hot tea.
And hot tea.
No, but I was actually cold. That's why I put this on.
We'll see. So, Mimi, how was your day today?
Pretty good. Hung out with childhood friend who's pregnant and getting married. And what are we doing?
Recording a podcast.
Yep. Yeah, it was good. And then we went to the beach today, so that was fun.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be working today, but it was kind of like another weekend day. So.
Yeah. Today was my off day. I had like really, really good trainings Monday, Wednesday, Friday with the guys up in Irvine. And then Tuesday, Thursday, I had really good workouts. And I think I had a training session on Tuesday as well. So it was a really good week. Off day today. I just did a whole bunch of editing, a whole bunch of emails, a whole bunch of work. And now recording a podcast. But one thing that I was talking about, this is where I really want to like center this discussion around, is on Friday, I was talking with Rafael Espinoza. If you guys watch the videos, watch the training sessions, he's been in like every single one since a long time. Yeah, since last week. So the last 2 or 3 episodes.
Wait, where were you going with that? You've like just started training with him. Well, except that one by Target.
Yeah. Yeah, because I meant like he's been in that one. He's been in the same. He's probably been in like 5 or 6 videos.
Oh, yeah, the meetup. Okay, yeah.
But we were talking because after a training session, I was hungry. So I was like, I'm going to go to Starbucks. I'm going to get like an egg sandwich, some water, like a chocolate milk. And I was like, I asked everybody if they wanted to come with me. And then he was the only one who said yeah. So.
And that was the whole story.
And that was the story. So yeah. Anyway, no, but he came with me and we just started talking because he's 17. And he just had his first season with Orange County Soccer Club. And it kind of was like he went through the normal rookie season where you, especially with a pro team at 17, you see a lot of the times of these guys over in the EPL who are 15, 16, 17 who are making their debuts, but that's not the norm of a 16, 17-year-old, 18-year-old player. I mean, this is the norm of Rafael, not even norm. He's way ahead of almost every single professional soccer player signing a contract, academy contract, so it wasn't paid, but training with the first team at 17, he's way ahead of the game, but he's going through that, like he didn't get into any games. He kind of, struggled at trainings, was the guy who was the practice player, got yelled at a lot, was the bottom rung of the totem pole or the bottom rung of the ladder. And just basically mentally, we were talking about how hard of a battle that is for your first professional season or first season, really. Freshman in college, you've probably experienced this as well. What it's like and just the mental battle that you go through. And we were also talking with you about how similar it was with, you've had a job where you're the bottom rung of the ladder.
Yeah, well, I feel like everybody starts there.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like you graduate college, you get like this real grown-up job and you think like, I'm finally going to be respected. Like I'm going to, I have my college degree, like I'm getting paid. You think like you're going to go in there and just start working, not have any problems, but you do start at the bottom. Like that's just how it is.
Yeah. And it's
like you're the one getting tea for your boss.
Yeah.
Like that everyone has to do that.
And it's hard in soccer because like in the real world, I mean, I'm guessing there are jobs where you get yelled at. But
100%. I got yelled at so many times. But it's funny though, because when that happens, it's almost like you just don't take it personally because you're like, well, like right now I'm the punching bag. Like that's just how it is. You can't like take it personally because there's going to be a new person coming along and it's going to be them next. And I don't know. And you just have to think like, everybody, not that it makes it better or rationalizes it, but most people on the team or most people at the job, they've been through it too.
Yeah.
And it's almost like it's just your turn, but it does suck.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason for people to be mean. There's no reason for that.
Mm-hmm. And we were talking just a bit because like, just how much it sucks. And especially for soccer because you're so used to being, I feel like coming out of college and you're going to get a job, it's kind of like, it's time to do this. But like in soccer, especially if you're going to a pro contract, pretty much not your whole life, but you've had big segments of your life where you are the man, Club teams, you're the man. High school, you're the man. College, you're the man.
I was never really like the man, but I get what you're saying.
But so like you're going through this and you're used to starting, being the captain, being the leader, never ever second guessing or thinking about other people yelling at you or getting mad because you're usually the best player from where you're coming from. Mm-hmm. And so to all of a sudden be going from that to a place where now you just feel like you have no confidence and everything's just sapped from you and you're timid. And we're talking about when you're doing 5v2s that you do a good pass, but you mess up, or another player will mess up and you go, my bad, and you walk in. Just stuff like that, just because you're the youngest, you're the guy who's not playing, you're the 17-year-old. In my case, when I was 22 at Sacramento Republic, I was the 22-year-old, like, younger guy, which was very young for USL versus over in England or other parts of the world. But just like to go through that mental battle of still having confidence and pushing through that year, because a lot of people see what it was like for me now when I'm joined St. Louis or everywhere that I've been, and they think, Raphael was talking, it's like, look, you just have confidence when you play, you're doing better. Just they feel like that I hadn't gone through that, and I went through that. Like, you were there with me every single day I came home from Sacramento Republic. How was my attitude coming home from those trainings?
You were just not happy at all. And I think the biggest difference between now and then was you weren't excited for training. Mm-hmm. Like, now when you go to train, even if it's with a team or with your friends, like, you're excited. Like, my mom even said the other day when you were going to training, she was like, Shelly was like a little kid, like, with his like soccer clothes on. He was so excited, like, running out of the house. Like, you were so excited to train. Yeah. And then at Sac Republic, you like almost dreaded like driving there and going there, and
yeah,
I almost felt bad that you had to go, but I was like, this is what he wants, I think.
And so. I honestly felt like I was hiding it too from you, like how much I wasn't enjoying myself.
I mean, you never told me about it until like now, but going back, like I could see it. Yeah. I wasn't blind.
I mean, because I would go into the locker room, and I'm not saying that I really want to clear up, like, Sacramento wasn't a bad setup. It wasn't like that was a mean club.
That was just your first year.
And even a lot of the guys that are on the team, we're on that 2015 team, I've played with later. Ivan Mirkovic, Vukovic, Joaquin Rivas, Cameron Owasa. So many guys on that team I've played with in different clubs or played against now. And they're great guys. I love them, like everything. But it was just me being that timid younger guy, being the rookie, coming to the locker room. I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel part of the team because I was like a practice player. So I'd come in, quietly as late as I possibly could, be on my phone, looking at my phone, kind of like looking up, only talking to the person right next to me, who was also probably a practice player, and kind of talked to Cameron Owasa to my left, and that was about it. And then once practice started, I was, I wasn't even in a lot of the trainings. I was off to the side, shooting on the goalkeepers, popping in when they need me. And then after training, hop in the shower real quick, go over to lunch, have my lunch, with talking with the same practice player or one guy, and then dip. I didn't do any of the other team functions. Mm-hmm. I wasn't living with the guys. I never hung out with them just because I was 30 minutes away, So I didn't actually make any bonds. And it was hard too to even like say like, hey, let's go grab something to eat, because I just, for whatever reason, you get in this mindset of like, no, like he's he's one of the starters. I'm like a practice player, and as ridiculous as that sounds, it's almost impossible to describe it unless you've been in that situation. And I bet a lot of people, I really want to document this and talk about this because I haven't really talked about it that much. I briefly, but I want to talk about it because I wish I could have heard this from another pro, who had gone through that. Because everybody who goes through it usually wants to keep it a secret, because either that makes them quit and they don't want to talk about it, or, they push through it and then they become a better player and confident, and they're like, they just almost like block it out and be like, no, I was never that type of player. But everybody goes through that type. Everybody goes through that phase, and it's rough. It's a very, very rough phase. And like, it's just same. It's very funny how like the parallels between you or that and like your job, but how like, you really didn't like a lot of the aspects of that, and you came home kind of miserable sometimes.
Yeah. It's funny too, because you can be like in your dream job, like your dream industry, and you could still be miserable. Yeah. And you feel so bad complaining, and you feel so stupid complaining, because you're like, I'm a professional soccer player, like I'm playing with the professional soccer team. Yeah. Like, I can't complain, but you're still not happy. Like, it's all relative.
Yeah, I would tell people, like, because especially Sacramento Republic, this team played in front of, 11,000, 12,000 fans a game, and you would go there and you'd get like the tickets behind the bench, and people would be like, you're training with Sacramento Republic? Like, that's so awesome. You get to play with these guys. You get to and I was like, I'm miserable every single day. I remember
you like hid it. Like, when we go to the games, you like didn't even want to tell anybody, because you were just like, I don't want to talk about it. Like, I just want to watch the game.
Yeah, I just want to watch I just sat in the stands. Yeah. It was a very, very weird time, and I was so close to quitting that like season, just because like I was like, this is not what I envisioned professional soccer to be about. And like I've talked about in many videos, Professional soccer is a lot different than I did imagine. But it's just that rookie season that was bad, you know?
Yeah.
And then you definitely have your ups and downs. That was a big, long, 9-month long down period. But I still don't want to say like I was miserable every single day. I still had, you know, I made good friends there.
Yeah, I was going to say that because there's still like with my jobs too, and like with you, I'm sure there were like bursts of like,
yeah,
this is great. Like, this is my dream. And then like the next minute you're like, I just want to go home. Like, this sucks.
Because I would have days, I had really, really good days of training, you know, where all of a sudden we're doing a scrimmage or whatever, 11v11, and I'm like, I get subbed in over the second string right back, and I'm over in, you know, I'm kind of like the second string right back now playing against the first string team, and I'll have like a really good day, whipping some crosses, feeling good. The coach is like, Matt, you know, you had a good day today, and you're on a high. Like, you are just like, oh my God, you know, just a matter of time. But that's one day usually out of the like 2 weeks. And most of the days it's, especially for me, I was learning a new position, and I was being mentored.
Yeah, because that was your first time being a right back.
Yeah, so I really had no idea about positioning, what I was doing. I was really learning. And unfortunately, if you guys have seen professional soccer players mentor or teach, in the heat of the game, it looks more like you're being yelled at and belittled. And I did a good job of taking that criticism and trying to learn from it, and also trying to have as much confidence as I could. But it wears on you every single day to go to training, to get yelled at, to be standing on the side for most of the training, to not have very close friends, and then you don't even get to play in games or anything. And it's like the best parts of soccer were just gone, and I was just doing like the bad parts.
Yeah, I've totally been there. Like the way you're describing that, I'm like just reliving it in my head, like what I went through. I was like, I don't want to think about that.
Yeah,
but I do think though that you can choose to discontinue that trend for the new people. You know what I mean? Like, because I saw that with my job, and then we got a new employee like 8 months later, and I felt like, you know, I was kind of established there. Like, I felt better. I felt confident. Like, I knew all the secrets and passwords, and like I knew everything basically. And so when there was a new person coming in, I literally went up to her and I was like, hey, I was like, look, this is the deal. Like, you know, you don't want to park here. They're going to yell at you. You want to come in at this time. You want to put your purse here, not there. You know, like just all the little things I wish someone would have told me. Yeah. And I told her, I'm like, look, you can come to me. You ask me anything. Like, if you have a question, just ask me. Like, don't worry about it. Yeah. And I made an effort to actually say that to her, because no one said that to me. And I had to learn it all on my own. And that's how you make mistakes, is by learning, because no one tells you what to do, you know?
Yeah.
So
it's the same. I don't know. I did that as well, like at St. Louis. I don't want to say his name because I just don't know if you want me to. But we basically, younger guy, again, 18 year old kid. He was on an academy contract, so he wasn't like fully getting paid, but he was actually playing in the games with us at St. Louis. And this guy was like a good player. But I roomed with him for one of the trips or whatever, and I was always super, you know, I was always talkative. I like younger guys. That sounded weird. I like mentoring. Like, that's what I want to do. That's pretty much this entire channel is mentorship, and like trying to help people about really at that stage of their development of their career. So we were just talking about that. I was like, how are trainings going? Like, how do you feel? You know, because he did the same thing. He would pop in as late as he could, you know. He would kind of talk to a few people, but as soon as training left, sometimes he didn't even shower. He just left training, like never stayed around for lunch and stuff like that. So we just talked, and he's like, yeah, it's rough, man. Like, he was like U.S. national team status. Like, he came from being the biggest dog ever to now being the bottom rung. And he was just kind of talking about like how a lot of players, you know, kind of didn't treat him the right way, yelled at him, you know, trying to teach him, but not in the best way. And then, like, as a pro, like, it doesn't matter. Like, you can just yell at people because there's no like repercussions, you know? Yeah. And a lot of the older guys do that. And I, you know, even catch yourself doing that when you get older and older. You just want to win so bad that when they mess up, you're like, come on, you know, because you feel like you wouldn't make that mistake. Yeah. But you can't do it in that way. You'd be like, hey, one touch next time. But even that, like, they know that, like, you're disappointed in them messing up. So, like, I just was like, bro, I told him the same thing. I went through that too. And then he's just kind of like, you know, some people just, you know, I don't, you know, they mess up, but nobody yells at them. I mess up. I get yelled at all the time. And it's tough. And I mean, I just think it's so valuable just to document this and talk about this, because I mean, this is U.S. national team kids who are playing with professional teams at 17. You know, I went through this too, even in high school level. Like, this isn't just pros. at high school as a sophomore, my first year in varsity, I was like, there's 2 sophomores on the team, but one, Josh Hamilton, started the games and played. I was too small to really start games, so I was, he was friends with the older guys. I wasn't really friends with the older guys, so I just kind of felt like I went to training every day and didn't really have any friends, and I would get yelled at, and I kind of that same thing where I kind of dreaded going to training again. And it's just like, if you can understand that that's just part of the process, and if you can get through that year, it's going to get better the next year, your junior year, then your senior year is the best time ever. Then you have to go back down to college. Then you build back up, and then you go to the pros.
Yeah.
But it's a process. But yeah, I really, I had we talked for like an hour over at Starbucks, me and Raphael. And I was like, you know what? This is a really, really good topic. I wish he was here and we were talking. I wish I had that podcasted, Can I have some of your tea?
It's really hot.
I got a tickle in my throat. To the non-lipstick side.
It's not contagious.
Huh? Lipstick?
Yeah.
I don't want your lipstick.
It's nude.
We're going to go see a movie tonight, though.
Yes, we are.
We're going to go see the Bohemian Rhapsody song. Or not song. We're going to the movie theaters to listen to a song.
I think it's just called Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, so that's pretty close.
Yeah.
It's about Prince? I'm so bad. Who is it?
Queen.
Queen. Oh, I was close.
They're the ones that made the Bohemian Rhapsody song.
How close is that? Prince, Queen?
Not close at all. Prince was American. Queen's British. Named after the Queen.
Is Freddie Mercury?
He's the singer of Queen. So the movie's about him.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. It's funny. We had a guy at Tulsa when I was on trial. He was on trial as well. His name was Matt too, but he grew out a mustache. This guy looked exactly like Freddie Mercury. Yeah.
Shelly's so bad at celebrities. Last night we were watching a movie and it had Maggie Gyllenhaal in it. And he was like, man, this is the girl from Spider-Man. I hate her. Sometimes she looks young. Sometimes she looks old. It confuses me. And you were really mad about it. And I was like, Shelly, those are 2 different people that are 2 different ages. That's why they look old sometimes and young sometimes. That's Kirsten Dunst and that's Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Yeah,
and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, I names of celebrities, faces of celebrities. I feel like 90% of B-list and C-list or even A-list celebrities could be walking across me straight across this, right in front of me, and I'll just be completely not even noticing.
Yeah, I was impressed though when we went to Italy 3 days ago.
Oh yeah,
we were in LA. We went to Italy, and the second we sat down, we both looked at each other, and I was like, "Do you see him?" And you're like, "I'm gonna text you right now." And you got your phone out because the second we sat down, the guy next to me looked exactly like, I forget his name in Stranger Things, but it's the guy.
He's the guy with the hair who teaches the younger kid how to style his hair.
Yeah, right. He was the one that I think the girl broke up with him or something like that, and he was all sad, but then he became friends with the younger guys.
Yeah.
I swear that was him.
It looked really, really close.
But the thing is Shelly was the one facing him, and I don't really trust your
judgment
with celebrities, so I'm going to say it was him, because I don't really believe you.
It was not. 100%.
From my angle, it was.
Well, it wasn't him.
How do you know that, though? You thought Maggie Gyllenhaal and Kirsten Dunst were the same person.
Because I know. Stranger Things, that's a show I really like, and I looked at him and I was like, it's not him. I don't trust him. Yeah. But yeah, so it's been, I haven't talked about this in videos and anything too, but I got good news over the weekend, in terms of teams for next year.
I don't want to jinx it, though.
Yeah, I'm not going to jinx it. And I don't believe in jinxing, but,
you do with injuries.
No, I just don't want to risk it.
See?
But I basically, my agent, I want to talk about this too, because it's hard, because I wish I could show, this is what I struggle with my YouTube channel. I want to show everything, and be completely transparent, but I don't want I don't want that transparency to hurt stuff in the works, Well,
you don't have to be transparent about it while it's in the works.
Yeah, but that's the hard part, is I want to show.
Do you know what you should do that a lot of YouTubers do? Okay, I've been watching, this is going to sound weird, but I've been watching a lot of pregnancy vlogs lately, because a lot of the people I follow are getting pregnant. I don't know why. But what they do is that for the first 12 weeks, you usually don't want to tell anybody, because that's when you can miscarry. Yeah. So they still vlog the whole time, but they wait until 12 weeks to release that footage. So you could be recording right now, and you could be talking about what's going on in your head and how you feel and the news you're getting, but just wait until it's confirmed or shut down to actually release it.
Yeah, I definitely, that would actually be pretty good.
Like, you could record yourself right now and just say, like, I just got a call from my agent. He said this, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And then that day when you do get a contract, it would be really cool to show the footage from before. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be a good idea. It'd be...
I mean, that's how you would do it without jinxing it.
Yeah.
So...
but I'll basically say what I want to say is that this entire process, I have a couple agents working for me, and it never is, I always thought that stuff would work faster. I thought everything in the professional world, if a team wants you, you'd be signed. Boom. And then the other thing I thought was that it wouldn't be it's almost like a complete game, like the coaches and the people are waiting to see how low you'll go, and then you'll see how desperate you are, and then they're kind of like holding off other stuff to see, and then all of a sudden they realize that they actually really need a right back, but then they play it cool, and then they say, yeah, we're interested, but we're not that interested.
You can definitely see how things get like messed up.
It's almost like you're kind of trying to talk to a girl, and she's it sounds like a relationship, and she's completely just giving you mixed signals all the time,
and then one person's trying to make the other one jealous all the time, until like the other one gives in,
Mm-hmm. It's a weird game.
But it's also like when you're younger and you have like your friend go talk to them for you, like go see if she thinks I'm cute.
Yeah. That's what agent
is. That's what agent is. Like that, they're the ones that do that.
That's what I do. I'll tell him. He'd be like, because my agent will come up to me and goes, "What's the lowest number you would go for in terms of money and deals? How what about housing? What do you really want? What would be a good goal to reach for?"
Contract?
Yeah. What have you been on for terms of money before? Mm-hmm. Who are you going to bring over? I'll edit that out. I just said the name of the team, so I'll go back and edit this. 22 minutes in. But then they're like, who would you want to bring over to the city with you? And all this stuff. And at the same time, you're kind of like talking to multiple
London.
teams.
Just say a bunch of different cities, and then they won't know which one.
No. You're talking to multiple teams.
France.
No, stop.
Trying to help you.
You're talking to multiple teams, and so that you kind of like are being like, yeah, so this team over here said this and they're interested. Does that make you want me more now? Oh, okay, you do. Okay, no, and then you go back to this team. They're interested in me now. Does that make you want to raise your price? Can't you
see how a lot of opportunities are like missed because of this game?
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of like players can just get.
And the most stressful part is, I was talking to my mom on the phone, as it's not like a normal, out of college trying to find a job where there's unlimited jobs, unlimited job openings, unlimited jobs, closing. As you're sitting there every single day, you pop on Instagram or USL or you check the website, you're seeing teams start to sign players. And that
have they started that already yet?
Yeah, they're starting sharing.
Oh, I hate
that. Every time you see one, you go, okay, well, there's 200. Let's say that for whatever number, there's 250 job openings. Every single post you see, goes 249, 248, 247, and there's not any more new teams popping. I mean,
the worst too. It doesn't really have to do with the new signings, but when you're on a team, because I always follow the teams on like Instagram and everything, I hate too throughout the year when you see new signings throughout the year and you're always like checking like, is it a right back, like freaking out because you don't want them to sign new right backs. I hate that.
It's tough, and so like that's a very stressful thing. I mean, you go through offseason and you're hearing about the teams that are interested in you, and then you check and they're signing people. And you're like, what's going on?
If they're interested in me, why are they taking?
And then you realize it's like, okay, well, there might be 4 or 5 right backs they're talking to, and all of a sudden one goes over to St. Louis, and then there's like 4 others they're talking to now, and then it's just like, okay, as that dwindles, then they can get more desperate. But it's just such a crazy like weird game, and you're talking and you get updates all the time, but the updates sound like this. This is what
it's all just gossip and
yeah, but this is what the updates sound like. The agent will call you, be like, hey Matt, I'm like, yeah, how's it going? And he's like, yeah, so I got some decent news. And this team, I talked to this team and this coach, talked to him on the phone a long time. He is interested in you. He, there's not the biggest budget, and you never know if that's a lie or not. It's not the biggest.
It always is.
Not the biggest budget, but they definitely are interested. Now they're talking to a couple other right backs. Now this guy that I've heard, the gossip is that he's probably going to go over to this team. If he goes over to this team, your price goes up. Do we hold out? Do we wait? And then he goes, I'm going to have another conversation with him next week, so I'll call you on Sunday. And that happens almost every single week. And it's just, you keep on being like, okay. And you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. Because you hear that, a lot of people go, sweet, okay. I mean, coach is interested. And then all of a sudden it goes blank for 2 weeks and you call your agent and goes, hey, what's up? Are they still interested? And it goes, no, they've got another right back. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, So then you have to have, that's why I have like 2 agents working. I'm contacting teams on myself. I'm sending out emails and highlight videos. I'm constantly, on the lookout for opportunities popping up, because you need to have 10, 20, 30 different leads for one to really go through. And even though you hear that, even if an agent says he's interested in you, even if they talk numbers, what they could offer you, nothing is set in stone until you write that name on the piece of paper. God, I've had a tickle in my throat.
You should tickle it. Drinking all my tea.
Yeah. Okay, I feel good now. But that's what's so hard. That is what's so hard about this. And it's hard because a lot of players do that. They don't have big YouTubers or big YouTube channels and big followings. They'll be like, oh yeah, I was talking to Austin Bold, or I was talking to Seattle Sounders too, and they're interested in me. And they'll just say that, willy-nilly.
But you can't.
But even if some do, but then you hear it like, hey, whatever happened to Sounders? I'm like, oh no, it fell through. And then, oh, what happened to this? Oh no, it fell through. I'm one of the type of person, colleges, everything, I said nothing until they verbally told me, or actually no, they actually sat down and said, we want you. Here's the contract. Here's the national letter of intent. Sign it, blah, blah, blah. And then I say...
See, that's why I was surprised that you were telling my parents and your parents stuff, but I guess families are different.
Yeah. And I tell people...
I do appreciate you being open with me and
I tell people that understand how it works.
Yeah.
Because
I know that means nothing.
Yeah. Because before you even said years prior, you keep a lot of stuff secret, about these opportunities and what's going on. Me. Because I would tell you stuff. I would mention a city. I mentioned a team, that was, I got an email that this coach might be interested. And you would get so excited. And you'd be like, whatever happened to it? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I haven't heard anything. It fell through. And then you get disappointed. And I was like, I need to keep it secret until it's set in stone.
Yeah. But see, I would rather know and be disappointed than not know anything. I almost feel like it's weird.
Yeah.
Because, you would, talk to agents back and forth for, months, and then you would randomly be like, yeah, so I'm signing at St. Louis. And I'm like, when did that happen?
Yeah.
Because, I know it's a process, and it's just kind of shitty when you're not part
Yeah,
of
and we
process.
talked about this. I've been obviously saying a lot now.
Yeah, he's
gotten better at it. Every single time I say something, look, nothing is set in stone. Because I've had... I would say for every opportunity I hear about the number of opportunities or leads or connections or coaches I hear that are interested in me to the actual number of contracts I sign is probably about 10 to 1. I'd say, Would you say that? I would probably hear that there's 10 opportunities, a coach is interested in you, and one of those pans out.
Yeah, I'd say 10.
And most people don't understand how that works that aren't either a professional athlete or dating a professional athlete, or a family or really close friend of a professional athlete. So even my closest friends, besides your family, my family, I basically say, I don't know, we'll see. I'm talking to some teams, but that's it.
So we know all the secrets.
You do know the secrets, and I'm
Go
hoping.
Watch my channel.
And basically, like I just heard last time, but basically there should be more information either tomorrow night or Monday. But again. You never know. Nothing. Yeah, I've heard that before, and 2 weeks have gone by. So it's decent news. Things are progressing, but at the same time, nothing's progressing. Mm-hmm. So if you guys are confused or stressed or feel like this is in the dark, no information, I'm really not saying anything, then welcome to my world. This is how it's been, and this is how it always is. Even when I had my best season with Orange County Blues, and I played 16 straight games, started every single one, played every single minute. And then the day the season ended, I got a call from Preki at St. Louis saying that he wanted me. Can you start that again? I got a call from Preki the day after the season ended that he wanted me. It still took 3 or 4 weeks before I actually got the contract. And then it probably took another 2 or 3 weeks before everything could finally be finalized and I couldn't make any announcement. So it was 2 months and that's how long it took. Bless you.
Ow.
Because I got one comment that was like, I got one comment, I think, on like some YouTube video by the same guy who made the comment about it's this one guy. Yeah. But he's like, if you're not instantly being signed, it means the coach doesn't want you. Sorry. I'm like, I don't think you know how the professional world works.
Because that means that the coach wouldn't want anybody.
Yeah. So, but there definitely, it does work a little bit quicker for, the number one guy they want,
Yeah.
But there's always going to be people that just have no idea, that just talk out of their ass. Like, no, that's not how it works. Mm-hmm. It's okay, bud. Yeah. Tell me how the professional world works in the USL. I'd love to know more. But you definitely, you learn to just keep stuff secret, because that my first year too, out of college, I sat, and I got I got an email from Oklahoma City's head coach. I got an email from Sacramento Republic. I got leads about Portland Timbers too. And I was like, I'm wheeling and dealing. I got 3 opportunities, 3 trials. I'm set. This is going to be great. I'll have like options to choose from. No doubt in my mind, I was going to sign a contract. One by one, OKC just didn't want me anymore. Mm-hmm. Sacramento Republic, all of a sudden, they were fine. Then Portland just went quiet. Didn't even hear back from Portland. And all of a sudden, around February, March, I'm seeing the USL start to pick up and the USL season progress. And preseason started. I'm sitting there at my home in Portland, twiddling my thumbs and going, "Wait a second, why am I not in preseason?" Yeah, and I would contact the coaches. No, nothing, no reply. So that was hard. And so you learn quickly. You learn quickly not to take anybody's word until it's down in paper, in writing. And even then, you realize that even then, stuff can change. And nothing is guaranteed. Mm-hmm. It's tough. It's funny too. I got an email that said from a kid, and he goes, "Matt, I saw your YouTube video with Rubio," and he was like, it's disheartening, or it's hard to see players from that background. Rubio is not having the greatest season this year in terms of he's not getting a lot of playing time, blah blah blah, but he has an amazing background. And they're basically like, so what percentage of pros, need to find a job after their pro career is done? What about medical insurance? Like, what do you guys do? And I was like, look, the reality, and this is why I love my YouTube channel too, because, you look at BBC, you look at all these other Instagram accounts following the big top guys that are signing for millions and millions of dollars. It has the 0.1% of professionals. Even players that are playing for U.S. national teams, they're going to have to find jobs. Most of them are going to have to find jobs after their career's done. And for the far majority of players, most of them are going to have to find like everyday jobs after their pro careers, because they don't even make enough money now to even be above the poverty line. In a lot of different countries, a lot of different leagues around the world. And so that email, I'm like, dude, it's good that you're seeing this, because I don't want any player to be like, oh, I'm going to become a pro and go the pro route, because it's a smart decision, financially set. Once you're in there, you make money, it's easy. But and I don't want to dishearten kids at the same time and be like, look, no, you're not gonna be rich. It's 99.9% chance that you won't even get a contract, Mm-hmm. But it's good to show the reality of it. What are your thoughts on the money aspect of the USL or of the even MLS or La Liga, about how the view of a professional soccer player versus the reality?
Yeah, I think a lot of the world doesn't know the reality behind the contracts. And I'm not going to get into numbers or anything, but I just think that you see these huge big guys on TV getting paid millions, and you just think that if you're a pro anything, that you're set and you're solid and you're making bank and you're driving a Range Rover. And it's the reality is that only happens for a couple people, You know
what the hardest part too? A lot of professional players, then especially in the USL, or leagues where they're getting livable wages, decent, some really decent contracts, even for normal everyday job standards, but they put on the persona that they are making hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they buy the Louis Vuitton, toiletry bags and the nice sunglasses and dress super nice. But then you, as a player, start to look, you can see their home situations. You can see what, besides the clothes they wear and the car they drive. And you can be like, dude, this guy, I asked him if he wanted to go to Chipotle with me, and he said that he didn't have money in his bank account. And you're like, bro, you know, like,
well, people have different priorities, you know,
and I mean, that culture around you of like, you know, I mean, we have friends that think like of my USL contracts, I'm wheeling and dealing, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm you know, I am definitely not at the point of Cristiano Ronaldo and Neymar and those guys. I'm not going to be able to go out and buy you a car, bro. So chill. One of my friends was like that. It's like, oh, so it was like, Will, when am I gonna get my car for being like your friend? Like and I was like, bro, you don't realize it. Well, I was like
today. I'll just say it because she's not gonna watch this podcast. But we were with my friends, two of my girlfriends today, getting Chipotle, and I brought Shelly with us, and we were getting out of the car, and I was like, Chipotle on Shelly. Like, I was just joking, and then my friend's like, yeah, like, you're a professional soccer player. Like, come on, it's no big deal. Like, they were just joking. Like, we all bought our own, whatever. But it was just funny because you and I looked at each other and they're like, they know nothing about the USL. Yeah,
I've seen USL players struggle.
Yeah, I'm like, you don't even know. Like, most players, you know, I think a lot of them are scared about the future and about retirement and about, because a lot of times, like, either they don't have enough to put into savings, or, you know, they have like other expenses like a wife and a baby and a kid and all that, and it's like, it's scary. It's really scary because once your career's over, I mean, everybody just assumes you're gonna become a coach, but it's like, not every player is meant to be a coach. Not all of them would like being a coach. Like,
and it's crazy.
Are coaching jobs even easy to find? Like, because they just assume like, oh, I'll just be a coach. You know?
Well, think about it. Coaching jobs are way harder to find.
There's only one.
There's
per
one
team.
Coach per team. Yeah.
Yeah, and they I feel like a lot of them just assume that that's just a given.
The more and more I've been around pros, the more and more I realized that a lot of pros, instead of looking and planning for their future, they, you know, how I even take life kind of week by week. Not in terms of financially. I mean, I feel like compared to pros, I'm like killing it where I'm like planning for my future and getting ready for what I want to do. Become Elite is like a huge piece of that puzzle about how I'm going to be fine in the future. But something that I like, you see, is just like, since your life is so scattered everywhere and there's so much uncertainty that they take it day by day. It's never about like, oh, you know, let's plan, I should put money away for off season. It's like, nope, I have this much money in my bank account. I can make it stretch this far, you know, whatever. Next season, I don't know. I'm taking it day by day. And it's good. A lot of them do that as a way not to stress about next season, if they're going to get a contract, what's going to happen. And it's very kind of like carefree. And I think that helps a lot of players because they realize if they're oblivious, if they put in the back of their head, ignorance is bliss. But you can see the fear when people talk about next season. You know, they play it off like, oh, no, you know, something will work out. You know, like I'm talking to some teams. Or like, oh, yeah, after, you know, guys who are like 32, 33, they're like, oh, no, you know, I'm going to coaching, blah, blah, blah. But you can see, and you know, I've seen players like just drop off the face of the earth after they're done playing pro. And it's hard because then the fans so quickly shift to the next guys, you know, Instagram, everybody so quickly shifts to the next guys, the guys who retire. They're just like, they completely are just forgotten about. And it's a really, really weird and scary thing for a lot of players. But that's one thing I'm really, really fortunate with Become Elite, that I started that and the business around it and have like a set plan for the future. Because I would definitely be the person that would be really stressing about my financials, my future, everything, if I didn't have Become Elite as another project to be working on after. But day by day, it's so many pros. I'm just literally imagining my past conversations with past players, past teammates that have been like, yeah, man, it'll work, you know, it'll work out. And then all of a sudden you just don't see them sign another contract again. I even like, I don't know where he's at right now. It's weird, you know? Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. You've been driving up to me with me to Irvine too for the last couple weeks filming. I really appreciate that, you doing that. Everybody that comments is like, oh yeah, Mimi, you know, goals, like you're so lucky.
Didn't someone comment and think I was just like your film person?
They were joking.
Oh,
it was a joke. Yeah,
I thought they thought I was like your Nabil or something. I'm not that good. Yeah, but one thing though, before you change it, one thing I wanted to say about the players like not getting contracts and stuff. It was like a huge shock to me because I was with you like in college when you were playing on the team, and if you were losing, it like sucked, but like, you know, it wasn't like your scholarship was at risk or like your spot at the school was at risk. It was kind of just more for fun. You know, like you just wanted to win. But then when you got onto a pro soccer team and like I would go out to coffee with you guys and it would be like halfway or 2/3 the way through the season and you guys would be like losing for a while. And like all of you guys would just kind of be like stressed out and scared and like quiet. And like that was kind of just like the tone. And like I don't think other people understand just how much like winning like is so important to not just like your pride but like your actual like livelihood.
How much,
you know what I mean? Like I was sitting there like getting coffee and like, you know, I thought it was just gonna be a fun time, like everyone's gonna be happy, but it's like you guys are all just like, man, like we gotta step it up, bro. Like, you know, what do you have for next year? And like it's scary because even like halfway through the season, if it's not looking too good, like if it looks like your team's gonna be on the lower half of the whatever, you know, that you have to start thinking about like the future. And I didn't realize like how much of a toll it would have like on your everyday like thoughts.
Because it's not like Europe in the top clubs. I mean, if you have a bad season, there's no 5-year, 3-year contracts. It's nope, we're starting fresh.
Yeah, new and coach. A lot of times like the new trend is just to scrap the teams. Yeah. Like I don't like that, but that's
and so it's hard because like, you know, the owners go, we're not making, like, this is terrible, we're bottom of the table, change it up. New coach, new players, everything. And then it just wiped clean. And the thing is like even we were stressed about that season and look what happened. They brought back two.
You were right.
We were all right.
I was like, you guys are worried about nothing. Like, just have fun, go out and win.
And we would be like, Mimi, like, it wasn't just you. It was a lot of people who understand. Like, you know, we would be talking even to family members or friends that aren't on the team, and they'd be like, oh, dude, guys, you're fine. Like, don't worry. Like,
you have 5 more games left.
Like, and then we were all like, no, this isn't normal college soccer or anything else. This is professional. Yeah. You don't get the wins. That means that everybody's going to be out of a contract. And they only, out of 26 to, I think, 27 guys on the team, they brought back 2 guys. Two guys. One
thing that I still remember, I think it was from Orange County, there was a couple guys that played from, like, Jamaica and the Caribbean and stuff. And I remember you telling me that, because in the USL, there's bonuses for everything. Like, if you score, you get a bonus. I think if you assist, you get a bonus.
It depends on your contract, but yeah.
Yeah, and I remember you, like, telling me, you're like, see that guy right there? And he was like a striker or something. And you're like, we didn't win today, so he doesn't get to send money back to his family to eat.
Yeah, he didn't get the win bonus, which for him I think was like $250.
Yeah, so his family didn't eat that week, you know, because he would send all of his money and his bonuses back to his family so that they could live and eat and breathe. And like, I was like, wow. Like, it's not all about winning. Like, it's literally about staying alive and like making sure your family's okay. And like, I never thought about it like that. I was like, man, like,
and it's and the hard part is like in a normal job, it's not, a lot of times it's not just like, it's about if you do your best, you know, oh, you're working hard, you're doing your best, you're not like a screw up. But in soccer, it's not like, if you're doing your best, 50% of the teams are going to be in the bottom half of the table. It doesn't matter.
It's just how it is. Yeah.
There has to be a last place team. You know, there has to be a second to last place team. There has to be 8 teams in each league. God, I should have had a water.
You weren't prepared.
I wasn't prepared.
There has to be set up for you, and you just didn't even get.
There has to be 8 teams with 25 guys per team. They're literally going to be stressed out.
Yeah.
And look, we talked about it. St. Louis brought back 2 players, and it wasn't like, oh, the other guys went to new teams. Only I think like 6 or 7 guys found teams in the USL.
You like talking to all of them afterwards. You're like, no one's getting contracts.
Yeah, and the guys that did find contracts in other places were like the veterans that've been around and had really good seasons, you know?
Yeah.
But vast majority of the players, you know, just went to like Australia, went over to New Zealand. A couple guys went over to Finland. A couple guys like, they're just completely out, went down to the NPSL, an amateur league. Other guys went to the PDL. Other guys are just playing just quit. A lot of guys just quit.
Yeah.
And so it's like, there's your career. You know, you're done playing soccer.
That's why winning, like, it's not all about just you guys wanting to win. Mm-hmm. It's like you want to keep playing. We wanted it,
and you have this desire as a kid to win, but like at the same time, every time I'm on the field too, and we got spanked by Louisville 4-1. That I remember that game in my head. I was like, "There's my career. Like that's kiss my career goodbye." You know, there it is. And obviously, I was in a dark place, and like you don't want to think like that all the time. And obviously, you can always find a team slightly lower, but like you've seen right now, taking a step down and then bouncing back up is hard, you know?
I think this whole talk would be a really good answer to the people that ask you like what your motivation is and like what motivates pros to go out and train every day.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if you don't get to play.
Yeah.
You don't get a spot on the team. You don't get to sit on the bench. You don't get paid. You don't get asked back next year. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, not to make it like sound miserable, but like there's a lot riding on it. So when you just want to stay in bed all day and not go train, that's what you're risking.
There's another right back out there who's training harder, and he's gonna get the if you both make the team, he'll become the starter. He starts games, you don't. There goes your career. And so like, yeah, it's like motivation. It's like I always laugh every time. I'm like, what's your motivation? My motivation is to survive as a professional.
Yeah, it's to play.
It's to keep on doing this. Like, it's not even it's like I have to do this. I was like, oh no, I need time to get up and grind. It's like, no, time to get up and work so I can continue getting paid, continue to be a soccer player. Because if I don't do this, then I'm quickly gonna find myself, out of the game and going on to the next phase of my life, which isn't bad. But it's not what I want right now. I'm excited for the next phase of my life, but I don't want the next phase right now. I want a few more years of playing, doing all this stuff. But yeah, this is more of a serious podcast.
Was.
Yeah.
We're going to call it the Serious Podcast.
The Serious Black Podcast. No, that's our dog name. I just got to remember to edit out the team name.
Oh yeah.
I just said it.
22.
Yeah. But hopefully I'll be able to say it soon. And again, like I said, I want to be very transparent on my vlogs and show what's going on, but I don't want to just be showing stuff and people are like, I don't want to share everything, and it's just such a weird thing. That's like the part, because I don't even share this stuff with my friends,
Okay, I'm gonna end it before you get into another rant right now because it's already at 46 minutes. It's crazy. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Sorry if it was a little dark at times.
It's good. It's the real.
Hear.
It's the real thing. It's the real
hear.
part of soccer. Yeah, it's real.
I think honestly, it just makes me respect players more though, just because they work really, really hard. And it's not just to play; it's to support people,
the
families.
The best part though is like, in the exact opposite, when you have that season like I had at Orange County, and you're starting and you're playing and you're doing well and your team's doing well and you're winning and you get to playoffs and you get the semis and you're just like, this is why I do it. That one season, every single day I woke up and I was like, especially when you're in the playoffs, trainings are going great. You're there, everybody's happy, everybody's laughing, you're nutmegging people and we're all laughing and going crazy. And then in comparison to the other seasons, when you nutmeg somebody at training but you're losing, it's a losing season, everybody just keeps playing because it's a series. It's not, we need to win. We need to go like this. And so like,
he's getting into a rant again. We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah. I'm not going to stop it now.
You can keep talking. I have other things to do.
You do it. I want to just say it though. Like, honestly, this whole podcast was a little, like I said, a little somber. But you work hard, you do all this stuff for that season, for that time, and that just for the future, to make the next season so that you win, so that it goes well, so that you're winning and everything's like, sunshine and rainbows and everything's awesome, because that's what you do it for, because it's 100% worth it when you start winning and everything's going right. All right, Mimi has left. I could talk about this for a long time. Maybe I should just do solo podcasts from now on. All right, guys, let's see you in the next one. This was the Against All Odds podcast. Adios.